You ever look at a plant, and I mean really look at it? Most of the time we just see, well, a plant, right? Something green that just kind of sits there. But what if I told you that beneath that calm exterior, there's this secret world just buzzing with activity, with strategy, with constant struggle? Well, today, we're going to dive into the incredibly active and secret lives of plants.
Okay, let's start with a thought experiment. Seriously, just for a second, imagine you couldn't move. I mean, at all. You're rooted to one single spot for your entire life. No running from danger, no walking to the kitchen when you're hungry, no going out to meet up with friends. Sounds pretty tough, right? Well, that is the fundamental reality for every single plant on this planet.
And this right here really gets to the core of it all. For animals, the game plan is pretty straightforward. Move around, find food, eat it. Simple. But for plants, they're stuck. And that one single constraint, the fact that they are immobile, is the key. It's what has forced them to come up with some of the most amazing, most ingenious solutions you can find anywhere in nature. So before we can even get into all those clever solutions, we kind of have to back up a little bit. We need to understand what actually makes a plant. Well, a plant. What are the basic building blocks that make them so different from us?
And it really just boils down to a few key things. I mean, they're complex, multicellular organisms, just like us. But that's where the similarities kind of end. They've got these rigid cell walls, they've got these little green powerhouses inside called chloroplasts, and maybe most importantly of all, they use this incredible process called photosynthesis to literally make their own food from scratch. All right, let's dig into that first one, the cell wall. It's made of this really tough stuff called cellulose. A great way to think about it is like a personal skeleton for every single cell. It's what gives a plant all the support it needs to stand up tall and reach for the sunlight, and it does all that without a single bone in its body.
Okay, so inside those super rigid cells, you've got these amazing little power stations, the chloroplasts. These are the tiny green engines running the whole show. They're what hold the chlorophyll, which, by the way, is the reason most plants are green. And trust me, this is where the real magic happens.
And that magic? It's called photosynthesis. Honestly, this is the plant's ultimate hack for not having a mouth. It's this wild biochemical process where they take sunlight, a little water, and carbon dioxide right out of the air, and boom, they turn it into sugar, pure energy. It's literally how a plant eats without moving an inch.
All right, so they've got the food situation figured out. That's a big one. But let's get back to that main problem, right? Being stuck in one spot. That creates a ton of other challenges that go way beyond just getting a meal.
So let's break this down. If you can't move, you've got three huge questions to answer. 1, how do you get everything you need to survive? 2, how do you sense what's going on around you and react to it? And 3, the big one, how on earth do you find a mate to create the next generation?
Okay, first up, let's talk about how plants actually sense their environment. Now, they don't have eyes or ears, obviously, but don't let that fool you. They are incredibly aware of the world around them. They live a life of constant, subtle reaction.
I mean, plants have basically evolved their own unique set of senses. They can see the direction of light, they know which way is up and which way is down, all thanks to gravity. And get this, they can even feel physical touch. And these aren't just things that happen to them. They are active, deliberate responses.
Okay, take phototropism, for example. This is basically a plant's ability to chase the sun. I mean, literally chase it. It will actually bend and grow toward the light so it can position its leaves just right for maximum solar power. It's got to get all the energy it can. You could almost say it's hunting for sunlight.
And check this out. This is a perfect example of a plant's response to touch. So think about the little tendrils on a climbing plant. They are unbelievably sensitive. Just a light touch is enough to trigger this coiling reflex, letting it grab onto something for support. This isn't just passive growth. This is a plant actively exploring and manipulating its world.
All right, so plants can find food, they can react to their world, check and check. But what about, the biggest challenge of all, for anything that's stuck in one place? How do you find a mate?
Well, for seed plants, it really comes down to two major strategies. You've got your flowering plants on one side, the angiosperms, and then you've got things like pine trees with their cones on the other, the gymnosperms. But here's the thing. Both groups have the exact same problem to solve. How do you get your pollen from point A to point B when B might be miles away?
And the solution is actually pretty brilliant. I mean, if you can't go out and meet someone yourself, you hire a delivery service, right? And that's exactly what plants figured out millions of years ago. It's called pollination. They just outsource the job of carrying their genes to couriers.
The main ones, the wind, or, even more clever, animals.
They literally hired these couriers. To get the attention of animals like bees and moths, they put out these advertisements, vibrant colors, amazing smells. But it's not a charity. The plant offers a payment for the service, usually in the form of super sugary nectar. It's this incredible little business deal happening all around us.
And over time, plants have become absolute masters of manipulation. Some of them play it straight. They offer a real reward, like nectar. But others, they get a little sneaky. Some orchids, for example, use what's called food deception. They look and smell amazing, but they offer zero food. And some get even crazier. They'll mimic the look and smell of a female insect to trick a male into trying to, mate with the flower, spreading the pollen in the process. It's wild.
Okay, so the plant has successfully reproduced. Mission accomplished. But there's one last problem. You don't want your kids growing up right at your feet, right? They'd be competing for the same sunlight, the same water. You need them to get out of the house and find their own spot.
And again, plants have evolved these incredible ways to give their offspring a big send-off. They make seeds that can travel by wind. Think of a dandelion's little parachute, or by water, like a coconut floating across the ocean, or my personal favorite, by hitching a ride with an animal, like an acorn that gets buried by a squirrel who then totally forgets where he put it.
But here's their ultimate superpower. This is something no animal can do. It's called seed dormancy. And it lets them send their offspring not just across space, but through time. A seed can just wait. It can lie there dormant for months, for years, sometimes for decades, just waiting for the absolute perfect moment to sprout. It's basically a tiny biological time machine.
And then, when the time is right, a new life finally begins from that dormant seed. And it's ready to face the exact same set of challenges all over again. How to eat, how to sense the world, and how to reproduce, all without ever taking a single step. So that brings us right back to where we started. After all this, after seeing them chase the sun, feel their surroundings, pull off these elaborate manipulations, and manage long-distance relationships, can we really say that plants are just standing still? Or maybe they're moving all the time, just in ways we're only now learning how to see.